All right, so I just went to buy a shirt, which for me is a huge financial thing I've got to worry about. I don't like buying clothing. I really wish I didn't have to buy clothing at all. That's the thing I love about Star Trek. They have one uniform. You get your one uniform. That's it. That's what you wear, and the uniform tells the world what you're good at. If you're yellow, in the next generation at least, you are engineering. If you're blue, you're science or medical. If you're red, you're command. Maroon if you're command. Though in the original series, if you were yellow, you were command, and if you were red, you would be dead. Long story short, I buy a shirt. So I go to It's a Wrap. I recommend this place. It's in Burbank. It's where they will get costumes from TV shows and movies and sell them. And unused costumes. Well, I mean, they were used, but now they're being used again. Anyway, I find myself getting in line, and I don't know why it is, but everyone is standing really close to each other. And I found myself in front of this woman who coughed, and it was whenever this happens, I get really neurotic about it because I'm trying to analyze the cough. All right, is this a cold that she's transmitting, or is it an allergy, or is it, emphysema? Because if it's emphysema and she's dying, well, that's sad, but at least it's not contagious, probably. But if it's if it's contagious, now I'm concerned. Is it Ebola? What is it? And just all of a sudden, I found myself just feeling trapped because the people who go to It's a Wrap, they will buy 20 items of clothing. And there's something about the vibe of some of these people that I'm looking at, and I know that you shouldn't never judge a book by its cover, but I feel like I'm looking at the cover of a book about hoarding when I'm looking at about 90% of the people who are in this line, and so they're buying 19 different garments, you've got two cash registers working as fast as they can to process all these garments. So that's happening, and then behind me, this woman is coughing, and then she's got the sniffles, and every 13 seconds she's sniffling, and I'm freaking out. Now, the advantage, though, is that she has a British accent. I'm a huge fan of the British accent. I enjoy listening to the British accent, so I'm in a bit of a conundrum here, because it's fun to listen to her talk to her husband, and they're bickering, but at the same time, she could be this walking plague. But I'm sitting there, and I'm getting very tense and very panicked. Finally, they get to me, and they ring up the shirt, and the guy says, "Do you want a bag for this?" I say no. I don't even say the word no. I'm so tense that it comes out, no. That's how I said no to this person. No. And he gives me the shirt, and I leave. And now I'm processing what just happened. And I'm sitting there thinking, do other people get this anxious about this kind of thing? I feel like 85% of people on Earth, I don't know where I got the 85% from, but I feel like most people would stand there and not, they'd be on their phone, they'd be not thinking about anything, and I'm sitting there basically giving myself a panic attack because the woman behind me might have Ebola. And I'm beginning to think, well, is this... is there something wrong with me? And if there's something wrong with me, if there's something that's really, really wrong with me, I wish that I could get a proper diagnosis for what it is, because then, finally, I will have something with which to market myself. That's what I just need something. Is it general anxiety disorder? Then I can be the GAD comedian. Fine. Just something. I need an angle. Then before that, I was at a coffee shop, and this disaster. I order a caramel pear tea. And listen, I normally don't care what tea tastes like. I can drink any kind of tea that is given to me. This tea, apparently when you combine a pear and caramel and you put it into a tea, you get snot. That is what this tasted like. My God, I couldn't believe it. And at first I thought, I can do this. I can just drink it. But I actually returned it. And I hate to be that person who returns something. And I even said to them, I normally never do this. I don't know why I needed to tell them that. There was no reason that I needed to say that. They're not keeping track of how many times I return items. They don't care. I'm trying to excuse the fact that I don't like this tea. Why am I apologizing for not liking something? That's the $64,000 question, isn't it? Why am I apologizing for not liking something? I have a right to not like something. I have a right to say, listen, this doesn't taste very good. I like something else. And they got me something else and there was no problem. Why do I feel so guilty for putting... Because I'm thinking, I'm wasting their time. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. What if the person who brewed the tea is sitting in that coffee shop when I do that? What if I break their heart? What if they're having they brewed this tea and they're having this horrible week. Their wife just left them and they're depressed and they're miserable. I thought, you know what I'll do? I'll go to a coffee shop that serves the tea that I brewed, because the one thing I can take satisfaction in is seeing the joy that people have when they're drinking my tea. And what if I just crushed him? What if the caramelized pear was the one thing keeping this man from throwing himself off of a building? These are the things that concern me. So I'm sitting there now with my blood orange tea, much better, blood orange tea, recommend it. And there's a guy sitting near me, and it's one of these people who he's listening to a music video on his iPad on earphones, and he is enjoying it too much. I can't stand people who enjoy what they're watching or listening to too much in a public place. It's like I feel like their enjoyment is interfering in their enjoyment is affecting my personal space. I think it's secondhand enjoyment. That's what it is. That's what I don't want. I don't want this secondhand enjoyment. I don't like this. Listen, if you want to be bombastic about watching your Michael Jackson Thriller video, you do it in the privacy of your own home. You don't do it in public where other people are trying to be depressed. Now, the paradox of this is that when I'm sitting at a coffee shop and I'm writing on my little laptop, it's not a laptop, it's an iPad. I don't want to lie to you. I want to be very specific. It's an iPad with a keyboard, iPad Pro, 2-year-old iPad Pro. When I'm sitting there writing on my iPad Pro, I rock back and forth, and it annoys people. I can tell that it annoys people because if I sit near somebody who was sitting there before I was sitting there, they leave pretty quickly. So I recognize that when I'm complaining about this man who is enjoying Thriller too much, I am a hypocrite. I recognize that, and I don't care. It still bothers me. That's me sniffling. Fortunately, I don't think you're going to catch whatever I'm getting. I don't think I'm getting anything. Oh, God. Now I just said I hope I don't talk myself into getting something. Everyone at the office is sick. It always goes around. Why must it? Why? So here's my other thing about the guy who is enjoying Thriller too much. I sometimes have a theory that people who are like that, who overly enjoy what they're doing at a public place and they're alone, they're hoping that someone will talk to them. I could be wrong, but I have this feeling. And in that case, I'm on high alert, because if I accidentally make eye contact, this could turn into a conversation. And I can't stand that. I can't stand that. Yes, I know it's a public place. All right, I know it's a public place. I'm not here to meet people. I am here because I can't afford a maid, and I can't afford a villa with a private writing room where I can have a ship, because I feel like there should always be a ship of some kind, a sailing ship, a model sailing ship in a writing room. That just feels appropriate. That I can't really start my novel until I've got that miniature ship. And I don't need to have built it myself, but I need people to think that I did. All right, well, I don't know what we accomplished here, but yes.